Sophia Baumgartner. You're watching Blue Bud Sports TV. Wow.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Bud Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, the legend, heavyweight, former, unified, legend, Hall of Famer, Iron Mike Tyson had a word of advice for former unified British heavyweight world champion, superstar boxer, Anthony Joshua, ahead of his highly anticipated unification rematch against current unified Mexican heavyweight superstar boxer Andrew Ruiz Jr. Right? Iron Mike Tyson had this to say for advice towards Anthony Joshua. Iron Mike Tyson said, "Listen, Anthony Joshua, hopefully, if you're a smart man like I think you are," quote, "if you're a smart man like I think you are, you've been studying that fight with Andrew Ruiz over and over and over again and understanding your shortcomings, understand what you did wrong in the fight." He says, but another thing is, a huge thing is, you have to stop being scared, stop being worried. Don't worry about it. He said the only reason you have to worry is if you haven't properly done your homework and properly made the correct adjustments to be successful in the rematch. He said if you didn't do so, then of course you have something to worry about. But if you did so, if you studied the fight, if you studied the past fight, if you studied Andrew Ruiz, you studied your opponent every day, day in and day out, made it a staple of your day, he said, then you have nothing to worry about. But if you go into this fight with worry on your mind, then you're going to lose. He says that I also have concerns about Andrew Ruiz Jr. losing weight because I believe that Andrew Ruiz Jr. has started to let all the whispers about how he looks on the scales, get sink into his mindset. And now he's starting to want to make adjustments to that. If you had success at the weight you was at, then you continue on at that weight. Don't make adjustments. Why make adjustments? Don't fix something that's not broken. But when it comes to Anthony Joshua, he said that Anthony Joshua is worrying because he hasn't done the proper preparations and research to correct the wrongs and be successful in the rematch. He says, so that seems to be the case. This is my thing, right? And now I'm gonna give my opinion on it. And I agree with Mike Tyson. I think that Anthony Joshua is trying to, psych himself up. He's trying to convince himself that he belongs. Anthony Joshua I watched as of late, I watched the face-off between him and Andrew Ruiz. And he said something to Andrew Ruiz when Andrew Ruiz told him he quit. He said, Anthony Joshua responded was, "It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. I'm a champion in my heart of hearts." Right? So nobody could tell me otherwise. And Andrew Ruiz responded, "Yeah, once a champion, always a champion, but this time I'm going to end your career." For the fact that he said that, and the fact that he said, losing the first fight, was a weight lifted off his shoulders, and he has no pressure going into the second fight. He has no pressure going into the second fight because he's already made peace with himself that if things get too rough, then he'll call it quits because he truly doesn't need the sport. So the mindset of Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, it seems a little fragile. And like Mike Tyson said, he's worrying. It seems like he's worrying. And why are you worrying? If you did the proper preparation, right? For anything. If you do the proper preparation for a test, when you're taking a big test, if you study correctly, you won't it'd be a little bit of nervous bugs is what he said. You'll have a little bit of butterflies, but you won't have so much worrying. It seems like Anthony Joshua's worried. Anthony Joshua comes up with so many different scenarios as to why he lost the first fight. Lets me know that he's not convinced that he could beat Andrew Ruiz. He feels like when he looks in the mirror and he looks at himself and he views himself and the way he views Andrew Ruiz, he feels like he should be the far superior fighter, as he stated. 9 times out of 10, when I look at myself and I look at Andrew Ruiz, I should definitely beat him 9 times out of 10, right? Well, that goes to show that mentally, he looks at them physically and he feels like he physically should be the superior fighter, which means he doesn't truly understand the physics of the sport of boxing. He has a muscular physique. There was pictures that surfaced that show Andrew Ruiz, with a weight loss and Andrew Ruiz with a late loss, and then pictures surface of Anthony Joshua with a weight loss. But the recent pictures I've seen of Anthony Joshua in training camp shows that Anthony Joshua is still very, very muscular. There were pictures surfacing of his legs and how muscular his legs was, and that the muscles in your legs is going to cause him to fatigue drastically. You understand? The biggest veins in your leg, the biggest muscles are in your leg. You ever do leg day when you're working out? It takes so long to heal. Everybody dreads doing leg day because of the pain and the aftermath of leg day, because it takes so much to heal. It also demands a lot of oxygen. This is the reasoning for Anthony Joshua having stamina issues, because of his muscular legs. That's just the truth of it. That's truth of the matter. I know people are going to say, why are you talking about his legs? Because it's part of his body. So I'm talking about incomplete. Right? He has very muscular legs, which demands a lot of oxygen, so his legs run out of stamina. His legs get tired very, very quickly, which in return doesn't allow him to get out of the way, doesn't allow him to stay mobile. This is why he will be in range with Andrew Ruiz as the fight goes on. That's why the first fight with Andrew Ruiz was able to cut the ring off and be in his chest, and Anthony Joshua couldn't do anything about it because his legs were the first thing that tire on him. You understand? And so with that said, you can get tired and your legs don't get tired. You just fatigue overall, right? But his legs totally get heavy on him. You understand what I'm saying? And so with that said, that's because they demand so much oxygen. Muscle weighs more than fat, and muscle demands a lot of oxygen. So with that said, this is going to be, I don't think Anthony Joshua learned his lesson in going into the rematch. This is why I picked Andrew Ruiz to be successful. Now, can he win? Absolutely. Will he win is another story. So with that said, I'm picking Andrew Ruiz to win this fight. I think Andrew Ruiz is going to stop Anthony Joshua once again. I think Anthony Joshua is going to show stamina issues. He's already showing concern. He's not showing too much of confidence. It seems like he's trying to convince himself. And so in return, I think Anthony Joshua, I agree with Mike Tyson. If he hasn't truly done his homework, that's why he has cause for concern. The fact that he's showing variation and he's showing lack of confidence tells me that he hasn't properly prepared for Andy Ruiz Jr. And a fighter, Joey DeWecco, was rumored to have knocked him out in sparring in training camp going into the first fight. If you guys don't know who Joey DeWecco is, go research Joey DeWecco. He's going to put you immediately and directly in the same mindset of Andy Ruiz Jr. They are the same height, have the same build, have the same fighting style. Now, Joey DeWecco has been the victim of, some bad calls by by judges. And so he has some losses on his resume that he definitely should not have. A few fights I was at, and I thought he clearly won the fights, and he didn't get the decision. So go research Joey DeWecco, right? And you'll see Joey DeWecco looks just like Andrew Ruiz. But after the what came out in the rumors and reports, he wasn't brought back in Anthony Joshua's camp. That tells you a lot. That's the perfect opponent to get prepared for your opponent. If there's a fighter out there that doesn't mind preparing you, helping you prepare for a fight, and he totally mimics your opponent, it's very hard to get sparring of somebody that is exactly like your opponent. Joey DeWecco is exactly like Andrew Ruiz. I'm telling you, if you have not seen Joey DeWecco, go check him out. Looks just like him. Joey DeWecco is, I believe he's, I don't know what he is, but he's definitely, he's white, and Andy Ruiz is Mexican. But go check out Joey DeWecco, man. But I'm in agreement with Mike Tyson. I think Anthony Joshua is worrying, and I think that, that's going to backfire on him. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Bud Sports TV. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Bud Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. Iron Mike Tyson has a word of advice for former unified British heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. Tells him there's no need to worry if you properly did the proper preparations for the rematch. But if you didn't, then you have cause for concern. because then you haven't correct the wrongs and you'll come up short again. So then it is concerned. But if you did the proper research and did the proper studying like I think you are, the smart man I think you are, then you should be all right. But that's all I got for y'all. Peace.